Back to the PM's trip to China. Today it was all about that roundtable with business leaders spruiking our transition to so-called green metals. Plenty of the usual suspects there, including Twiggy Forrest, keen to talk up today his latest foray.
Both in China and Australia, and generate a serious jobs boom in both China for green steel and particularly for Australia in green iron. We forecast hundreds of thousands of new jobs, plus multiplier effects.
Joining me now to discuss this, the environment editor at The Australian, Graham Lloyd. Well, I tell you what, I feel like it's back to the future. We've heard this all before. We heard all the spin about green jobs, then it was green hydrogen, then it was green taxes and schemes, and now it's green metals and green minerals and, wait for it, green steel. Why is it going to be any different this time, Graham?
Well, good evening, Peter. I heard your intro there talking about boondoggles, and the fear is this is just going to be another one. But there's a really serious sort of underpinning to all of this, and that is the extent to which the Australian iron ore industry is really facing some competition that's coming from mines that are owned by China in Guinea. They're very high quality mines, and they are likely to displace Australian production. And they'll do so because the Chinese steel industry does want to increase its efficiencies, and this is how it will do it. So the response from Andrew Forrest and others is to say, well, we need to jump onto the green agenda, which China's happy to talk about, whether it's doing anything or not. But again, this requires downstream processing of iron ore in Australia before it's exported. There's a long history to this, and it's not a good history. It's never been economic, and there's big question marks over whether this will be economic as well.
Yeah, but the point you're making there via their PNG operations, Chinese owned, it's about vertical integration for the Chinese of the supply chain more than it is ever about green metals, green steel, green iron ore.
Well, that's right. It's about getting an alternate supply from Australia, and that's Guinea in Africa. It's a huge project that's about to come online at the end of this year. Yeah, and what the threat that it poses here is that it's a better quality ore than we have, and this whole hydrogen push is a way to try and compete with that.
But if China was serious, you and I both know about reducing its emissions, it wouldn't be opening 2 coal-fired power stations every single week, and it wouldn't be sending all the renewables infrastructure our way, the turbines and the solar panels, but not using them at home to power their heavy industry.
No, that's right. They're happy to talk about it. They're happy to supply the world, and they're happy to argue on the part of developing countries to get subsidies. And in terms of improving their own industry and air quality and things at home, that's all about particulate emissions and other things. It's not necessarily about CO2.
And what about green hydrogen? I mean, the last time you and I talked, it was almost a dead letter for private sector investment. I know it's still in the language, the arsenal of the government. I know Chris Bowen spruiks it quite often. Where do you see that at the moment?
Well, I think in terms of it being a substantial export industry as a replacement for natural gas, well, it's completely a bust. It's too expensive and it's too difficult. The argument now is, well, look, it does make sense if you have it as part of a linked process, if you like. So you're producing some hydrogen feedstock on site and you're using it in an industrial facility there. But again, that comes down to cost. There's a lot to be said that you can possibly do it, but is it worthwhile?
Well, over there, Graham, thank you.